What's up, my brother?
What's going on?
This is my guy, Darius Newton, but we know him as D. How are you doing today, man?
Doing all right, I'm just chilling, just chilling.
Right.
Laid back day. How you doing?
I'm good. Where are we at right now? What are we doing?
We are in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. How's this experience been treating you so far?
Phoenix is nice. It's just dry and it's warm. It's hella warm. Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah, it's warm as fuck out here, but it's cool. The people are nice, and we're just having a good time.
Right. I was kicking it with you. We also got the homie with us,
Mm-hmm.
and we were at the table yesterday, and I was like, yo, I didn't interview 2 of the 3 people that's sitting here. You're the only person I haven't interviewed yet. So, I mean, Here we are. So, D, tell me about yourself. Where did your name come from? Who are you? Like, what's your family background?
Well, I was actually born in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And I was raised in Beaverton all the way up until I was 11 years old. And I don't know, my name Darius, it just comes from Mom. She tells me this story, she met this guy, this tall black dude in a store one time, and his name was Darius. And he told her that the name means tall, black, and strong. Although I'm not tall, I'm really short.
You're tall in spirit.
I am tall in spirit.
Tenacity is the word I gave you yesterday.
It is.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like my name, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, I don't know. That's where that comes from. Where that name comes from. My family's from California and Louisiana, but most of the family I know is from East Oakland, California. And they're good people.
Nice. So your last name is Newton. Is there any historical relation to that last name?
Yeah. So my family, my ancestors were actually owned by Sir Isaac Newton. That was my ancestor's slave master. And also, I'm related to Huey P. Newton, which he was a part of the Black Panther Party.
Right, so you got white history and black history.
I do.
That's a lot of history going on.
It is
that last name is powerful, man.
It is pretty powerful, it really is.
Do you carry the tradition of your last name with you as you live this life?
I try to, I'm working towards things, and I wanna make my family proud, and I wanna. Newton is a strong name. Newton derives from many places, and it's just there are so many famous Newtons out there, and I think one of my goals is just to be really successful and to carry on my name. So I don't know.
Right. So you got a strong family name. How is the family bond? Are you close with your relatives?
Oh yeah, definitely close. Yeah, we're all really close. One of our main laws and rules of the family is loyalty. That's one of the biggest things about us. Is we believe in loyalty and trust and honesty within our family and unity. And so I don't know.
What's your family unit look like? How's it arranged?
What do you mean?
Like mom, brothers, sisters, dad, uncle.
Yeah. So I don't know. Who do I live with?
Yeah. Who did you grow up with? Who raised you?
Oh yeah. So my dad and my mom, they were. Like I said, everyone's from East Oakland, California. But when they got together, they decided, when they got married and had kids, they didn't want to raise us there because of how bad it is, or how bad it was back when they were growing up. And so they decided to move out here to Oregon, or in Oregon, to raise us, which I really appreciate, because we grew up, we had a really good life. And I appreciate them for that. I love them for that. But yeah, my dad and my mom, they raised us. Everyone else is just, they're not here. Everyone else is in California.
Okay.
But I grew up with, my dad, my mom, and my 3 brothers. I have an older brother too, the oldest. He's 28, but he lives in California. I never really knew him like that.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was 11, my mom and dad, they got divorced, and so they split. And then I ended up living with my dad all the way up until I was 16, and then I ended up moving with my mom. Now me and my mom were closer than ever. It's pretty cool.
Okay, nice. So growing up in Portland after you left California, how was growing up? How was the environment changed? Did you adjust well to the adaptive society that you were in?
In Portland?
Yeah.
Yeah, I adjusted pretty well. I mean, Beaverton and Portland are completely different. I mean, when I was younger, Portland was, I would say, a lot better than it is now. Portland's kind of getting worse in my opinion. But I don't know, it's still a good environment. You know, it's still a pretty good environment, and I don't know, it's cool. I guess it's cool. But my thing is, I actually wanted to go to school in Vancouver, which I ended up doing. I ended up doing my first 2 years of high school in Vancouver, until I ended up moving with my mom, and that's when I came back to Portland. But yeah, I don't know. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be living in Portland right now, but that's where my family is. So yeah.
So like, as you're turning into an adult, did you have any aspirations of trying to leave?
Yeah. No, I'm still planning on leaving, but I have to figure out, you know, how that's gonna work with my family not wanting to leave, you know, Portland. You know, I want to go somewhere where, you know, it's just a better environment for me and, you know, my future kids. Because the environment in Portland it's not the best right now. And you know, I don't want my kids growing up in this. So I'm thinking about moving to Canada actually. I think that'd be really nice. And so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Canada, I hear nothing but good things about Canada.
Yeah.
As you're growing up, you're starting to manifest an idea of how you're going to get out of this environment that you want to move from.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have any career paths that you tried out earlier?
Yeah, so I have a disease called sickle cell anemia. I've been living with this disease my entire life, and I've learned to, you know, manage it and deal with it, of course. But growing up with this disease, I've been in the hospital since I was like 2 years old. And so I've been growing up watching nurses, you know, becoming family practically with nurses and doctors and stuff. And I always saw, you know, how hard they worked and how much they cared about people and how much they wanted to help people. And that was always just so inspiring to me, you know what I mean? And so growing up seeing that, you know, it always made me want to become a nurse or become a doctor and just get into the medical field in general. And so that's the career path that I'm going down. I'm going down the path of nursing. I chose nursing.
Nice. Nurses work their ass off.
They do.
Yeah, I spent time in the ER. I mean, the hospital is ran by the nurses, you know. So that's a extreme level of responsibility that you're putting on yourself, and I respect that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
they go through a lot.
Yeah, man.
They go through a lot. You know, they work long hours.
They also travel. There's traveling nurses as well, so that'll kind of help you out with that.
Exactly.
As well, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they do. I was thinking about being a traveling nurse. I think I'm gonna end up working in Portland for 2 years, 2 or 3 years before I actually start traveling as a nurse.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty cool field. You know, I really respect what they do, and I think they deserve, you know, more attention and more respect. You know, I give them the same respect that I give veterans. You know, it's because they're risking their lives out here, and I don't really think people truly understand that all the way, and I don't think, you know, they understand the full capacity of what they're doing. But yeah, it can be a stressful field to get into, a stressful career to get into. But yeah, they're awesome. They're really awesome.
Yeah, I didn't really fully grasp what they put their lives on the line for until I was there. I was like, holy shit, y'all are veterans. That's what I told them. I was like, yo, y'all are just like soldiers. Like, this is no different. Like, y'all. So it's like, I respect them, man. They do need to get more respect. I think all the people who work on the line, I mean, teachers, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different groups of people who just need more respect. Like,
it really is.
I mean, these times showed us that, like, who do we depend on is those people. So it's like, let's pay them accordingly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's real simple. It's real simple.
It is. It is pretty simple.
So, are you interested in like creativity, the arts of any form?
The arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm into the arts a lot actually. You know, I'm into music. You know, I'm into comedy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If I go everywhere, and I dibble and dabble into comedy, although I need to be consistent with it and just go to every open mic that I can. And even if, you know, because bombing is scary. Bombing is scary.
Yeah, you got to see some of it yesterday for me, huh?
Yeah, you didn't do too bad. You really didn't do too bad. But
it builds character.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, bombing can be kind of scary, and you know, I decide to go up at places where there's not a whole lot of people. Yeah, I don't know, just those rooms like Dante's, those kind of rooms, I just feel so comfortable at, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, but I don't know. I need to be more consistent because that's the only way you're gonna learn, you know, how to really, you know, be a comedian,
right?
And how to really deliver the jokes properly. It's just by, you know, doing it. It's just like with anything. That's the only way you can learn, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm into the arts, comedy, music. You know, I'm into painting. And I'm into photography and videography, of course.
Yeah.
You know, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you've kind of dipped your feet into the scene, has it changed the way that you look at it? Do you have a different view on the entertainment industry now that you're kind of seeing a little bit inside of it?
That's an interesting question. Yeah. I would consider myself right now kind of a manager in the entertainment business and industry, and I'm a networker. And so I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of higher ups in comedy, and just, you know, got their opinions and thoughts, and just, you know, asked them of their, you know, how did they get to the point they're at, and you know, what you know, just what have they learned, you know, just being a comedian and just getting as far as they got. And there's a lot of ups and downs in the entertainment industry. There are things that, you know, some people don't know about it, and it can be kind of tricky. I don't know how much I can really say, but
I mean, do you hear commonalities amongst the people who've made it to a certain level? Like, do you hear one thing that kind of stuck with you that everyone who's at the top seems to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it's a dirty game. The entertainment business is a dirty game, and honestly, like there's a word that they all use. It's called opportunist. And that word sounds bad. You know, when you call somebody an opportunist, you're like, oh no, I don't want to be associated with that person or whatever. But in the entertainment industry, you kind of have to be an opportunist, because if you don't take opportunities, then how far are you gonna make it? Are you gonna make it to the top or not? You know, you don't know. And so what I've learned is that, you know, in the entertainment business, if you see an opportunity to get to a higher level, you kind of got to take it. It doesn't matter, you know, what it is or what the opportunity is. But if you're moving on to the next level, you just got to do it. And that's what I've heard from a lot of, you know, the higher comedians. They've all had opportunities to get to the next level, and they each and every one of them took it, which is pretty crazy to me. I never thought about it that way, and I don't know. I'm still learning about it, but that's the one thing that has stuck with a lot of them.
What's your vision for yourself in that world?
In the industry?
Yeah.
The vision for myself, honestly, I think that something just keeps coming to mind for me when I think about, you know, staying in the industry or working in the industry, and that's just, you know, being a manager or a producer, which I'm already kind of doing, and I love it. You know, I love it. It's fun. You know, I love helping people, and I love working with people, and you know, excuse me, it's just really awesome, really awesome. I thought about maybe I'll just stick to straight comedy and get, potentially get famous or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that honestly I'd be better at, just sticking to being a manager and a producer and just doing everything I can for the comedians that I work with, helping them reach the points that, they want to get to, which is really awesome. And I don't only work with, comedians, I work with musicians too,
nice.
Which is really, really cool. I started working with musicians probably 6 months ago, just going through the shows, and I work with like bands and just solo artists, which is awesome. But comedians and musicians, they're just so awesome to work with. It's a blessing that I'm even able to do it. It's so awesome. It's great.
Do you see any differences between managing a comedian and managing an artist?
Yeah. The work is different for a comedian and a musician. You can. It's interesting. There's a lot of different things about comedians and musicians that you have to do, but I would say it's a lot harder for a comedian, because, like for example, there's a band called Lucian Hall, or he's the leader of it, Lucian Hall, and like he gets on shows every weekend, like every single weekend, and it's really easy for him to do it. All he needs is for me to just to talk to a few people and network a little bit, and record the shows, and he gets on shows that easily. But for like comedians, I can record the shows and I can network and I can talk to people, but like it's really challenging getting on shows for comedians, and it's so much harder just to put your name out there and get your name out there. I don't know, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is that we have the internet.
We do, yeah.
So that kind of does help cut through some of the nonsense.
It does,
because
yeah.
you can objectively watch someone's work and be like,
Yeah.
okay, he's worthy of a booking.
You can.
That content, that videography part of comedy has definitely helped kind of shape the narrative that used to be being painted for comedy. Because I'm sure before, comedians could just bring a camera to their set.
Right.
They just had to do these mics thousands of times.
Right.
And, and so now it's like, oh man, okay, there's people out here who may find a niche audience just based off of them putting the camera up. You might suck in your city, but everyone else loves you everywhere else just because you did the video content. So that's dope that you're both a manager and a videographer.
It's fun. It's really fun. And thank you. I love it. I really do. Yeah. For comedians being on social media, it really does help. It definitely helps. But I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, we're in Arizona, kind of betting on ourselves. So like, what inspired you to jump into that pool of betting on yourself?
Well, so here's the thing I forgot to say actually, just to kind of take it back for 1 second.
Yeah.
With comedy, you really gotta know people actually. Like you gotta know host. You gotta know the host, and you just gotta know how you can get in and where you can fit in at. That's another thing I learned. So like that, I feel like if you know a good amount of hosts and you're friends with these hosts, then at that point I think you get on a lot of shows for sure. That's why I think traveling is good, and that's why I'm glad that we're in Arizona right now, because this is really the first step, to getting your name out there, and just exploring and traveling and just getting better and learning and experiencing all these great things.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your question again?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll figure it out. This is a nice flowing conversation right now, so I don't want to like mess up the flow. But ultimately, that's why I think it's so dope that we're here and I'm getting to interview you. Because I think it's more, you can see the manifestation starting to actually take place. Yeah. And then we're documenting it at the same time. So I think that's dope that we're here to get this off.
It is, yeah.
So I mean, how do you feel about like making that first step and jumping off into into betting on yourself?
Betting on myself. I don't know. I think it's just. I feel pretty good about it. I mean,